How does LunarDAO provide a strategy for advancing this cypherpunk mission and resisting the surveillance state's attacks on the crypto economy?
Oh, LunarPunks vision is based on the cypherpunk critiques, the predicts towards the central authority hegemony. There's this whole analysis of the expanding panopticon of this bare desert. And we build upon those, but the difference is that LunarPunks are not dystopian. We want to expand those analyses and those critiques by basically developing overall infrastructure and decentralized communities, and look for ways how we can create the autonomous zones, as we before poetically called the dark forest of anonymity. Basically, our thesis is that the people who build and who develop solutions for anonymity and privacy will be facing difficulties and increasing difficulties in finding any support. We see a lot of traditional like VCs, investment funds, and ventures in crypto. That's hard to imagine they will want to put their reputation on supporting something which is highly criminalized, and that can become pretty quickly, looking at the Tornado Cash example. There will basically an unravel dynamic where the teams developing these solutions will be forced to sell their work under price and go into some sort of illegality. And so their work to counterparties who don't care about the vision, don't care about these solutions. For them, it's gonna become a group who's gonna like sell cheaper for investors who will know that they're in a pretty cornered situation. And such scenario portrays privacy as taboo. Fight their soul because developers are under stress, and there's this dynamic. The whole value of what they're building and these communities is extracted from the ecosystem, right? And this is a future that we don't accept. In fact, we see a prospect of privacy being ultimately bullish, and offer, as LunarDAO, offer a solution. Our community, or the people who will be investing, we call it the LunarPunks quote. We'll allocate resources together and create what we call the squad wealth. And then the DAO will leverage the collective power of different anonymous members and become an investor itself. Then the squad, the voting community, they discuss and they democratically vote on which tools are needed, which projects to support, and what can actually empower that ecosystem. And we evaluate, we vote, and support, like carry on the support to whichever team is needed. Basically, become the venture, become like the decentralized anonymous fund for these solutions. Which as a result will mean that these projects will get supported, will also get supported by people who are aligned with their mission. It's almost like this, like headless hydra, because maybe you can pick some of the people who are part of the DAO. You can try to push on them, but because it's a DAO, it's an organization across continents and countries, it's completely impossible to just like crash the whole organization. And more we are, the more anonymity, the higher is the anonymity set, right? The peers will be provided with the needed resources. They will grow or develop the needed tools. And on the other hand, we also need to think about the DAO members investing in these solutions. So then the treasurer will accumulate the supported privacy assets and manage it as like a common fund, like a common portfolio of these privacy assets together. Result of that is that the value is also conserved in the ecosystem, and both parties, the developing teams and the DAO members, they profit from this upcoming cycle, which they themselves creating and ensuring to happen. Need to say that there is the liberator of a collective power, but every individual is protected against like this majority rule, because you can easily create a DAO which is you're gonna call it decentralized, but in fact it's gonna work just as a smaller state. And we don't want that. So everyone can exit the DAO at any times with 100% of their shares, 100% redeem without any fee. It's basically a strategy in like a thesis we have. Because the rule of tightening regulations and during demand for privacy and anonymity, as I was saying, will happen, yes or yes. But it's up to us where we end up in this taboo, in this like complete desert, dystopian, Panopticon-like looking world, or will we actually strengthen ourselves and come into ways and strategies now to capture that value, how we can together grow solutions and squad wealth as well, in opposition to just like be stick with like this like RegFi, where a lot of crypto got captured under this like KYC cycle. We definitely are not aiming to confront the nation state. Our focus is to provide the means for people to have agency and together make decisions in their own lives. Besides that, that also means to bring education, sharing resources, and creating strong narrative, network, community, and ecosystem.
Unchecked governments have eradicated privacy and truth. Those who resist are brought down swiftly, but we refuse to submit. LunarPunks are freedom fighters, protected by encrypted shadows. The future we're building is sovereign and uncensorable. The moonlit night is coming.